Hello, everyone. Welcome to On the Road with Stephen Hill. It's Sybil with Myra J. and Stephen Hill. How y'all doing?
Doing well, doing well.
Good. Steve, are you driving, Miss Shante?
On the road. I am. Wave high. Wave high. Hi. Hey, it's just, hey.
Oh,
Yeah, yes. No, the hand would have been.
he's like, wave high.
I know, right?
Yes, we are on the road. We're going to see Madonna tonight.
Tonight's the
Nice,
Madonna show. Oh,
nice,
nice, nice, nice,
nice.
Uh
nice.
oh.
Will it
Here it
be? Will
goes.
it
Here it
be
goes.
an early show? In other words, will she get on stage before 9 or 10?
Well, he's freezing
He's
now,
freezing.
so
Yeah. So okay.
There we go.
I'm
Are we
guessing that
back
it's
yet?
not
We back
me.
yet?
Yeah, we're
yes,
And
back.
yes,
and
We're back.
and
you are
that's
back.
and that's how we won the war. Did you hear what I said? Did I go off before that?
Very funny. So you guys this is date
Yes,
night,
we're
I
going to
guess.
see we're going to see Madonna tonight in Palm Springs.
Oh,
Oh, nice,
I
nice little
love
As soon
Palm
drive,
as I
nice little
as soon as I
drive.
Springs.
say
As
that,
soon as you
as soon
said
as I say that,
Palm
as soon as I say that
Springs,
word, we go off.
Yep.
Palm Springs was all you had to say. P.S.
And we
I
went we
love
went
you.
off. So
Oh, oh my gosh. Are y'all gonna stay over in
yes, indeed.
Palm Springs? Oh,
How are you
good,
doing,
good.
Sybil?
I'm doing well. Got
We are
outside
indeed.
and
We're
played
staying
today.
at a spa and villa.
Nice,
Palm
nice,
Springs.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I miss Palm Springs. Do you, Myra?
Embarrassing fact. Embarrassing.
Never. All the years you lived in
All the years I
California?
lived in LA, kept saying I was going. I never made it to Palm Springs in 25 years. How?
Oh my gosh. And there goes Myra. What is
No,
It's
Sybil,
something
I
about the
took her
weather.
out.
oh okay.
Oh, because I've never been to Palm Springs.
Myra, it was nothing but a words like, so want to go to Palm and 2 hours later we were right there. Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
Awesome. Awesome.
It's still on my to-do list.
Yeah, I love the town. I love the heat. I love the spas. I love the way of life, the art, everything is just so much fun. It's just so much
That's
fun.
what I've heard.
I am not doing this as this is just a courtesy. I'm not getting paid for this. Stephen Hill just brought up a fun memory from back in the day. Quinn Townsend Riley continues her sabbatical, and so we will talk about the story that she wrote for the What You Need to Know newsletter. She is our LGBTQ plus correspondent, and so let us, Myra. How's the weather there in Atlanta?
Baby, it is so nice out here. Now, somebody, tomorrow it's going to be 80.
Hmm.
But somebody really needs to tell these bees and snakes that we don't expect them for a couple of weeks still.
Bees and snakes.
Yes, yes. I don't mean the cute little
Wow.
honeybees. I'm talking
Yeah.
about them big
Like
bumblebees at night,
hornets.
right? That come and knock on your door like, "What's for breakfast?" Yeah, yes,
Wow.
yes, yes. The bugs are out in plenty, and so yes, we are having beautiful. It's going to be in the 70s all week. Yes,
Oh, nice.
beautiful.
We had 80 degrees today, and it was just so beautiful. Did yoga today. It was just a really
Nice.
nice day. Really, really nice day.
Now
So,
you know what I fear, me being Wanda the weather bunny,
what?
because it's been such a mild winter here in the
Hmm.
South for the most part, that the ocean waters haven't had a chance to sufficiently cool.
Hmm.
We may be looking at a rough summer.
Hurricane summer
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. There's a lot of concern about the shortness of the winter and what the effects will be. A lot of concern here in Texas that because we did have such a short winter and not a real hard freeze kind of winter that we've had from time to time, that it's going to be a very hot, hot summer. And we've already seen the effects of the fires in northern Texas
Mhm.
and the Panhandle, and that's just been catastrophic. So,
Wow. So someone stated, is this Charlotte, that it's going to be 75 in Maryland tomorrow? This, eh, yeah, which actually we all love this. this weather, but
Mhm.
it's like this is not supposed to be happening.
Right, the price that we paid for this, because
Yeah.
you and I from Chicago both know about wearing our winter coats on Easter Sunday,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
So it's like,
You couldn't
yeah,
even have your little bonnet on and stuff.
right, right, and your little anklet
Right.
socks and what have you. You had to have yeah, a snowsuit on over your pretty little Easter dress. Yeah, so enjoy it while you can. I'm not sure what this means for us here. And it's been kind of up and down. We've had really nice weather because a couple weeks ago it was 90, and that brought a lot of concern. And then it got cold again,
Same,
and a
same
lot of
here.
rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had considerable amount of rain too.
It's
So.
gonna cool off and rain.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's absolutely. As I mentioned, Quinn Townsend Riley is on sabbatical. This is busy time for her, Black History Month and Women's History Month. And so she wrote about a settlement that was reached with the Florida State Board of Education, the Florida Department of Education, and various school districts to dismantle one of the most harmful anti-LGBTQ plus laws in our nation. The plaintiffs included a group of students, parents, educators, and LGBTQ plus advocacy organizations. And according to the New York Times, the settlement says that students and teachers are allowed now to talk about sexual identity and gender orientation in public schools as long as it's not part of the formal classroom instruction. So they're kind of like, yeah, you can, but here are some more parameters to put around this. But it is opening up the conversation because for a while it was like, nope, we don't know. We're no woke conversation, no LGBTQ, no rainbow flags, no nothing.
That's
Uh,
crazy.
and a lot of teachers saying, was holding back from helping students who really needed to talk about who they were and whatever they were going through.
Yeah. And communication is key. Why have schools if it's not about education and learning?
Right, right.
Duh.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is good news, and hopefully this will spread throughout the country. People will take their states into task, into the courtrooms, and perhaps change some of those draconian measures that they have regarding LGBTQ plus rights, and shame them, and perhaps get the law on their side to make these things a little bit more open. So we shall see. One of the other things that we talk about in the What You Need to Know newsletter is Life's Essential 8. And this is in our partnership with the American Heart Association and things, the essential task or the essential things you need to do that we need to do in order to have a healthier lifestyle. And today we talk about moving more and taking these things to heart. We had a yoga class of sorts at Yolanda's house today, and so it was good. And I do stretching and all that kind of stuff. I sit on the floor and do all that, but it's nothing like having someone with you and holding you accountable. Going, "Yeah, are you straight? Are you touching? Are you really doing all that you can?" And so that was good, and looking forward to doing more of that and getting Yogi's Yoga back on the road. Yay!
Okay. They have stretch studios now,
Hmm.
and I absolutely love them. And it's nothing like going and getting a massage, and then immediately it actually where I live, it's a stretch studio right next door to a spa. So I
Nice.
get my massage and go in there, and they literally measure you how tall you are when you go in and after your stretch.
And you get those, yeah, the
Yeah,
elongation of your,
you're like a half inch, an inch taller, you
yeah.
know, just, yeah, and yes, and you feel so good, and your head is up straight. And now you do sound like somebody making Jiffy Pop while they're doing it, but it's good to move. It's good to stretch. Absolutely.
And it's so essential, as we say, life's essential aids. We talk about, your health in terms of your weight, your blood pressure, your cholesterol, giving up tobacco if you are a smoker or vapor or whatever. And there are 8 things that we talk about in order to get our lives, if we've kind of fallen off the grid a little bit, to get our lives back on track. And so I hope you'll take a look at these as we are going on, as well as every week we have the Black and Missing Foundation And today, discussing 39-year-old Kirsten Nellis, who she's been missing from Jacksonville, Florida since March 3rd. She's described as 5 feet 6 inches tall, 140 pounds. She's a bean there, string bean, with medium brown complexion. Take a look at her picture. If you've seen Kirsten or need more info, please go to the Black and Missing Foundation website and try to bring Kirsten home. So, Myra, this is especially true in terms of what we're doing with our Black and Missing. And I don't know if you've noticed this, like in Georgia, you had this young nursing student that was missing, right? And so
Literally.
A mouthful of sandwich.
Nothing like road food. So Myra, talking about the Black and Missing and how this story went nationwide, and not only in allegiance with what was going on at the border, but also a young white woman, and the stories are everywhere. But we don't talk enough about our Black people that are missing,
Yes.
and so this is our effort to help and to spread the word about this, right?
Yes.
Stephen Hill, did you have a chance to hear any of the things we were talking about, like the Quinn story, or
The,
right?
yes. Well, the funny thing is, what I was able to do was actually I solved climate crisis while you
Oh,
guys were talking about how the hurricane season is going to be.
oh, so please
And then
share.
I was so excited about it. I opened the window and it flew out the window. I'd written it down.
Oh
Like to
no.
solve
Oh
his.
no.
So, but no, look,
Wah, wah.
I'm glad for as for Quinn's story. I'm glad for any small step, and I know they seem like small steps, but I'm glad for any step towards justice, and this feels like a step in the right direction.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. And so we would love for people to subscribe to our newsletter. Please go to sybilwilkes.com. Give us your name and your email address. We'll have it in your email box every Monday through Friday, and we do this show every Monday through Thursday. And it'll be there first thing in the morning. All we need is your name and your email address, and it's absolutely free. And we'd love to have you as a part of the What You Need to Know news crew. And if you're having any difficulties, any challenges, please just let us know. And if you're not getting the newsletter, we have to make sure that it's not in your junk or your spam file, and also get you back on track in getting the newsletters. Okay. And as I said, please open them. That would help us a great deal.
Hey, Sybil,
Yes, ma'am.
it's just a lot of comments that
Hmm.
there's a lot of glitching that's going on YouTube. So it might not be y'all, it just might be the system. Just
I
wanted to bring that
I
up. There's a lot of
I
conversation.
also see that people are saying the same thing on Facebook. That
Okay.
it's glitching. Yeah.
Oh, the system. It's the system,
Well,
y'all.
it's TikTok,
It's
but
the
Yeah.
And y'all was trying to blame me. Look at that. Look at that. Blame the black man.
And speaking of TikTok, we did do that story in the newsletter, and today the House did vote to ban TikTok on American phones by American citizens, and it was a pretty healthy bipartisan vote, over 300 to about 65 voting against, and the vote now goes to the Senate. Whether how quickly it goes to the Senate and whether it will or just languish for a while until they come to some sort of agreement. What they want to do is separate the company that owns TikTok, ByteDance, from its relationship with the Communist Party, and so the country of China. And so it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out because the president
Wait,
is for it. I'm sorry. Yes.
this is new to me. Let me one more time.
Mhm.
Congress voted to ban TikTok on American phones.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
or in other words, what they want to do is to remove TikTok from the app stores so that people will no longer be able to participate in TikTok because they say for security as well as other issues that they have regarding election security and fairness that they say was a part of the 2020 election and 2022 election, as well as saying that. They are using information that we may give through
Mm,
TikTok in order to submerge our lives into their information bases
They want to separate China's relationship
with
with
ByteDance.
TikTok. Yes, and so they're saying they want someone else to buy TikTok, and
Yeah,
then
no, that
well,
feels
well
like it feels a little bit like an overreach. But
Oh,
from
for
here,
sure.
from here, Biden has to sign it into law, or where
No,
does it go from here?
from here,
it
it,
still has
it
to
passed
go
in the House. It still
to
has
the
to go
Senate.
to the Senate.
Yeah,
So, and that's
Fascinating.
and now that they're getting a lot of pushback from people who've never called a senator, they've never called a congressperson, they've never called their council person. They're now calling and said, "I was told you're making us get rid of TikTok. Stop it." And so they're getting a lot of calls in the congressional and Senate offices.
making another confession.
Yes.
Never been on TikTok. I just,
Yeah.
I just, I just never had a desire to join because so many people were like, "You got to get on to," and I'm like, "Well, what is it?" And you just got to get on it. Oh, it's so much fun. I'm on there for hours. Look, I waste enough time. Okay,
I
I
go
really
down
do.
enough internet rabbit holes.
Right. I'm like, I don't need another one. So I never joined TikTok, never shop Temu. Okay. I'm just putting it out there.
Myra, I don't think we're in their age range anymore of wanting us because
No,
Stephen,
no.
do
I
you
think that's right.
and your
I think that's right.
songbird? Do you and your
No, no. So
songbird?
Jaden's on a little bit. I am not on it at all. I'm on it every once in a while when something like with the Tisa comes through with the here's 50-part story about how I love my husband, right?
Risa Tisa.
So so
Mhm.
when there's so when there's something in the social zeitgeist, I'll go to it, but it's not something I'm on regular normally at all. I get that it's a couple generations after me,
Mhm.
and so I respect that. I think there's going to be a challenge with I mean the Senate and then the president can sign it in, but there's going to be a lot of uproar to taking TikTok off.
Oh, for
I,
sure.
I I think TikTok on our phones is one of the more dangerous things that we've had. Is one of our biggest security threats. Let's be
Mhm.
clear. That's
Yeah.
absolutely true. But they did the smart thing by getting into our phones by appealing to our need for social interaction and showing off.
And
So
Steve,
they
here's
kind of
the
did it
other
great.
part. Here's the other part. People are making money off
Yeah.
of this social
Yes. Yeah.
media application, and so people like don't mess with my money, don't mess with my entertainment, and I'm not on TikTok, but I understand that I'm on TikTok, and so every time I go to remove it from from the apps on my phone, I find it just makes its way back, so it mysteriously reappears. And
This is a spy device that the U.S. wish they'd come up with.
right,
Yeah.
right, right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and what I said in the story is that I have made a living and have benefited greatly from the First Amendment, and
Mhm.
so I cannot condone getting rid of this social app. I don't like what the possibilities that exist as a result of it, but this is goes against everything that the Constitution promises us. Although we have been denied a number of rights in the Constitution
Yeah.
that people have guaranteed us in the past, and so um, get some of those major brain trusts from a Brown University or a Northwestern, and get them on the case where they are unable to do this, to get all of our information and to cut it out, but not take away from people. That's all I'm saying. Thank you, Yolanda. Yeah, and Stephen, don't say anything else. We're up against the clock there.
But here's the thing. Oh, never mind. But I've solved it. I've solved the whole. Oh, never mind. Lon, do we have time? No time. No time. Nope.
No,
All right, never mind.
no.
I've solved the
Roll,
TikTok problem.
please.
But no, that's
Oh,
right. Let's move on. Let's move on. Yolanda's right. Let's move on.
We'll
yeah.
we'll come back.
On to world peace. Okay. Go.
Among the national days in the month of March is national. Speaking of TikTok and all these other things, is National Day of Unplugging. Unplugging. What's your favorite way to unplug, to disconnect from the world these days? It could be just what you're doing, taking a nice ride. It could be listening to music. It could be having an adult beverage. Um, that's your favorite way to unplug is the missus. I get it. Myra, what about you?
A good massage.
A good
Spa.
massage. Yeah.
I can have a spa day and just totally zone out. Believe it or not, it's actually one of my favorite things to do when I go to Las Vegas, because I'm a beast during the night, but during
Okay.
the day, I am in the spa. I am chilling. I'm having my little protein shake. I eat healthy. I stay in the spa all day. But when I come through them
When the
elevator
sun
doors,
goes down.
that's right. When the moon comes out and I hear that ding, 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 it's a whole different thing. But yeah, I can spa all day in Vegas, all day, and absolutely love it. Just
Right.
totally tune out from the world.
So that's our question for folks today. Those of you watching and listening, how do you unplug? As we have had National Unplug Day. Over the holidays, for me, it was like watching the Hallmark Christmas movies because they were on 24/7. And I absolutely loved it. But this is about, really removing yourself from technology, right?
Mhm.
And so, in that case, for me, most recently, it's taking advantage of the great weather we're having here. Even on the days where it's been rainy, throwing on my rain slicker and going outside and walking in the rain. It's just very relaxing. And then of course today, as I said, getting back to yoga. That was a really big move and a necessary move today. Stephen, before we take any calls or actually any texts from people, before there was Shantae, were there other ways that you would unplug, disconnect?
Uh, so I guess unplugging doesn't mean listening to music because you're actually plugged in.
Well, I,
I'm a good, I'm
I'm
a big, what's that?
No, I was gonna make an excuse for you in that respect because I think music does, and it is so central to your life.
Mhm.
So do you have you can you hear me?
I don't
Yeah,
know if
I
you
got you now. So yeah, no,
Okay.
honestly, it was driving. It's always been driving. For me, it's
Mm-hmm,
always been driving. Since I was
mm-hmm,
16 years old, I couldn't wait till I got my license. And
mm-hmm.
once I got it, driving was the thing that calmed me. I
Yeah.
love to drive. It was why the move from New York to LA was not difficult at all. Anybody who moves
Mm-hmm.
from New York to LA usually hates it, and it's all revolving around the driving.
Let me
I
tell
love
you,
driving, so like this LA thing works.
when I lived in Los Angeles, that drive up PCH, Pacific Coast Highway, on a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful day, you got mountains on one side and ocean on the other, and straight road, baby, in a sports car. Just give me my ticket in the driveway, because yes, I'm gonna be flying up the road for real. I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, and not
Right.
the freeway so much, but when you're able to really stretch out there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yep,
yeah,
yep, yep.
absolutely,
Pacific Coast
absolutely.
Right.
Highway. Yep, it's a beautiful drive.
Yeah, it really is. And so I get that, Steve. Does it surprise you so much, Stephen Hill? And this is totally off the subject, but something that you mentioned. Couldn't wait till you got your driver's license. Does it surprise you that young people aren't rushing to get their driver's licenses these days? Myra, have you come across that?
Um, yeah, yeah, but you know what? They're a different breed because they don't necessarily have to have a car to have that freedom
Right.
because
Yeah.
they can Uber.
Right.
You know, they can still get around, and for us it was like, let me get 16, let me get my permit, let me get out the house. And young people are staying home longer. I
Right.
don't know about y'all, but I couldn't wait to get out the house.
Right.
That's how we were raised. It's like your parents wanted you to get out and you couldn't wait to go.
Yeah.
So having a driver's license was part of that freedom.
And it's nothing like piling like 26 people in a four
A
passenger car,
Volkswagen.
you
In
know,
right, right.
and just having a blast. And and
Mhm.
and and it wasn't about drinking and driving and
No.
any of that. It was just about driving and going to get something to eat or maybe. Um, Steve, Steve, we were
Before we had
asking,
some seatbelts, people sat
right?
on each other's lap.
Yo,
Yeah.
the funniest thing is I was out and I look over at Shantae. I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I'm watching them without you." I'm like, "Wait, how come? How you got signal? I don't got signal. You dropped out. I'm watching them. What?
That's the kind of support I love.
I got it like that.
Bravo, Songbird. We appreciate that. See, we were asking, does it surprise you that kids, Myra gave, her take on it. Does it surprise you that kids aren't in a rush to get their driver's licenses at 16 or whatever the age is anymore?
No, because they all they care about is getting there, and their parents will pay for it.
Yeah.
I think the challenge was parents just started giving their kids Uber's accounts, so they didn't have to take them anywhere. That got ingrained into them that like, well, I can just take an Uber, and parents doesn't matter what the parents want to do. So I'm not surprised by it. It's more access than ownership.
Yeah, yeah.
It's very funny that, and when they go away to college and they're like, well, let's just rent a car and go somewhere this weekend. Who's got a license? And they're like, nobody in this group has a driver's license. So, then the Uber accounts really are drawn upon, but for sure. Yolanda, do we have any people suggesting how they like to unplug? Dora Levette says retail therapy. Now, is that in-store or online is my question to that, Dora. Jacqueline on YouTube says sleeping. I wish that was mine. I'm not sleeping the way I'd like to, but
I can't sleep on demand.
Keisha Michelle Brown, you are my girl on Facebook. Music, a movie by myself, and it's Sybil. Yay! We highly approve of that unplugging. We love that. Absolutely. Barbara Ferguson on YouTube says, I love reading, listening to music, and watching TV. This is how I unwind. Yeah, that's a lot of good stuff. Are you guys back in the movie theaters? Are you going to the movie theaters, or are you doing a lot of online stuff? And Myra, that was a question I wanted to ask you when we were watching the Oscar Awards the other night, and you said, we were talking about the movies. Do you watch them online, or do you stream them, or are you going to the theaters?
I'm still not in the theaters as much, unless it's something I really want to contribute my box office dollars. Mm-hmm. But because I get screeners, it's so convenient. I mean, I just pop in the DVD and I can watch them at home. So
right. Steve, what about you? Are you in the theater these days?
Only when it's something I really want to see. I was trying to think when you asked that question, what's the last thing we saw in the theater?
Did you see One Love?
No, I've not seen One Love yet.
I love that movie. I'm so
it.
glad I saw it on the big screen too. Yeah, I really love that. Yeah, absolutely. And then the last thing before that was The Color Purple, and that was on Christmas Day because I really wanted to support.
I saw The Color Purple. That's the last thing I saw.
Yeah, Yolanda. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Myra.
Oh, and I popped in Killers of the Flower Moon. Literally right before the Oscars came on, and I was like, it wasn't bad, but Martin Scorsese, why do we 3.5 hours? Are you serious?
Yeah.
3.5 hours is way too long for any movie. They should have just made it a series.
His last one was that too, right? He did the Irish. Didn't he do the Irishman for for Netflix? And that was 3.5 hours.
Never saw it for that reason.
But there are a lot of, it's like you trying to give people as much for their buck as they possibly can, but they need editors. They need and better editing than
What's on the editing room floor? And for a certain age group, y'all gonna have to start doing an intermission. Okay, if your movie is 3.5 hours, you can't serve a big gulp and give me a 3.5 hour movie.
That's right. It's one or the other. It's one or the other.
I remember being a kid and my mother taking me down to McClure Court, one of those, the humongous movie theater screens. And those movies had intermissions. And I was like, and it was great because, like you said, sometimes you just got to make that run. And you don't necessarily you didn't have the apps like you do the Run P apps. Have you guys ever availed yourself of that? That tells you in the movie where you can go and run and pee. And it will tell you at the point where you can go, and then when you come back, and they'll tell you what you missed if you really care. Run pee.
Wow, I had no idea such a thing.
You're gonna have to send me that info. That's funny.
Run pee. Okay.
Somebody is a millionaire off of developing that app, by the way. Let's be clear. At least a millionaire. At least.
Our friend Michelle Sumrall on YouTube says a good book is my way to unplug a physical book.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I love that. My attention span is not as great as it used to be. So sometimes I put the book down, I pick up a magazine. I find myself trying to get through a book. But books on tape, like I'm listening to Medgar and Merle, the Joy Ann Reid book right now,
Yeah.
and she's reading it, and it's oh my
Is it
God,
good? It's
it's
really
so
good.
good. It's so
Okay.
good. It's so
Okay.
good. And anybody know Joyanne Reed? Jackie, can you ask your girl to call me because I really want to do a book club with her, by the way. Um, so we're asking about National Unplug Day, and Aubrey W on YouTube says the best way I unplug is turning off my TV and cell phone. I just don't want to be bothered. That sounds like old black man. But I'm not. But I get it. I get it. Good for you. Good for you. Our friend Justice on Facebook says a hotel stay and a good book by the pool. Yeah, I love a good hotel
I
stay.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Transcendental meditation music also just takes me into a zone.
No Gap band for you.
Not if I want to be in the zone.
Our friend Michael Stallworth says listening to music is my escape. What are you listening to these days, Michael? Curious about that. When you're telling us what your music choices are, what TV shows you're streaming. I'm right now. I started streaming Feud, and I'm still going through West Wing. I think I'm in
Okay.
season 3 right now. So I really love the old and the new on Hulu and Max. And one of the things that I'm going to go back to because they canceled it is the series Julia about Julia Child. I loved this show, absolutely loved
Really?
it, and it just bummed me that they canceled it. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, but that's another way of and like you said, Steve, I'm not sure if that's unplugging or not. Oh, Regina Glover, I go to the lake. She says on YouTube. I want to go. I want to go because there's nothing like life by the water for me.
That's right. There's nothing like purifying yourself in the Lake Minnetonka.
Where the
Make
women
sure,
are all
make sure,
beautiful and the men are all brilliant, right?
make sure it's the right lake. Yes, that is true.
that's right. Being on the beach, that is my number one USA.
Yeah, yeah,
Number
Yes.
one.
absolutely. So if you're going on the Joiner cruise, you're looking for Myra. She'll be by the beach.
Yes, I will.
Midnight Rider on YouTube says a pedicure and a foot massage, and not necessarily in a place of business. Just saying. Uh, Sharing too much? Am I? Okay. I love that. I love the pedicure and the foot massage. Absolutely.
Wait a minute.
Um,
I may have been solving for the world climate when you said this, but what's your unplug?
my unplug. I've been taking advantage of long walks in my neighborhood because the weather has been so lovely, and even when it's been raining, it's and taking my camera with me to take pictures of
No.
other things. Yeah, along the way. And today we did yoga, and that was a great unwind. That was a great unwind, just the stretching and all the necessary stuff. So, yeah. And with the dog there, Ramsey was also stretching and unwinding with us. So that was a lot of fun. I love that dog. So that is they say what they say about National Unplug Day. This period begins and ends at sunset and is a perfect opportunity to unwind, relax, and spend time with your friends and family. Unplugging can mean different things to different people, and even just spending significantly less time on your phone can be a good start for the day. The point behind the day is that being disconnected from our devices will make us see how little we actually need them. And I will say that Yolanda and I had a detox weekend not too long ago in the fall. And people were like, I can't be away from my phone. I can't, I have to talk. And it wasn't a question of, just saying you can't have your phone or you can't talk. It was just taking time for yourself, being quiet and being reflective about you and your life. And not to say that you can't have your phone, not to say that you can't have conversations with people, because conversations with our girlfriends, our guy friends are often the most beneficial things that we have in our lives. But it is just kind of just taking a little time away from it, not cutting off completely, because I think that makes for a lot of miserable people.
Just remember, because I'm here's why I'm the bad guy. Just remember, there's going to be an entire We can do that because we remember a world that
Right.
existed without these phones. There's going
Right.
to be an entire generation for whom putting the phone down is going to be like not breathing. Like
Right.
literally,
Yeah.
it's going to be like not breathing.
Yeah.
Or staying in one place for a month without getting in a car. Right. That's the equivalent, right? People used to have to stay in one place, and then all of a sudden they invented cars, and now we can't imagine life without a car. Life without a car, whether we Ubered or drive it, is one thing. There's an entire generation, people who were born, who will not remember when there wasn't a smartphone, and their lives and the way they operate with them and their unplugging is going to be completely different.
Or I have no bars. How are we going to stay here? How are we going to be here? I have no bars. Like, right?
No, exactly.
I'm going to leave looking for a bar. For in a little while. So Stephen Hill, let's move to trending. And this is an opportunity for you to tell us about your answer to climate change.
No, I remember it flew out the window. I had it. Flew out the window.
No.
Answer is stay inside and fortify your residence.
And anti-terrorism. I don't know if you all have been watching what's going on in Haiti, but it is a sad and serious situation. Their government has been under attack, and an anti-terrorism team of U.S. Marines has been dispatched to Port-au-Prince to bolster the protection of the U.S. Embassy. They sent all their non-essential personnel. They were airlifted out of there a few days ago. As the deepening political crisis that has left some Americans stranded, no clear plan for a transition for a new government, and with free and fair elections in doubt, Haitians are seeking to escape their homeland. Haitian Prime Minister Ariel Henry had already escaped to Puerto Rico, and then he tendered his resignation once a transitional presidential council is created. And he made the announcement after the officials included Caribbean leaders and U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met in Jamaica to discuss a solution and to get an army of people from African countries, and Nigeria and Kenya, I believe, were the two leading areas. Although Nigeria, I'm not sure about that because they've got their own crises dealing with the kidnappings there. The Dominican Republic is on alert because they share the same island, and so they're tightening their borders against the undocumented Haitians, sending many back to a homeland facing a very dismal future. And they struggle with the political unrest as well as the violent prisoners that were released from the prisons. A lot of their people went in and they attacked those that were standing guard at the prisons and unlocked and let all of these people free. And so now it's just nothing but pure hell on Haiti right now. And what happens? They assassinated their president last year. The former first lady has been implicated in the murder of her husband. As I said, now Mr. Henry has said that the prime minister says that he will go, but what do you do? I mean, this is scary stuff.
It's sad on so many levels, and the history of Haiti is so tragic that it's almost like, where do you start?
Right. Go ahead, Steve.
No. I look. This is one for which I can't imagine what the solution is going to be, right? Because it's a destabilized government with no stabilizing force that cares enough to really stay in there for the length of time that it's going to take. Right? To stabilize something takes forever. To destabilize it takes a minute. Like really, like a minute if it's not organized.
Right.
And so I just don't see what where this is going to end up, right? And who are the kind of benevolent forces that are looking out for the whole island, and who are the forces that are in there to get as much as they possibly can for themselves,
right?
Which has been a challenge with that territory before
historically. Yeah, absolutely. we were lucky enough during the Joiner days to go down after the earthquake and to help and to do whatever we could and stayed with a family. And someone was asking me about that the other day, and I said, sadly, we lost contact with them as things became more unstable in the country. And we were there and living with this family and meeting the beautiful people. And Mitch Albom, who is a sports writer for the Detroit Free Press, is an amazing spokesman for the situation in Haiti. He and his wife are part of an orphanage there, and they just got out like yesterday.
Wow.
And they could not bring the children with them, and so they're headed back, trying to get supplies and trying to find a way back to take care of these children that they have come to love and bring into their hearts and their family over the years. But he writes a heartbreaking tale about, in an interviews talking about this. And if you can, check it out. And also, if you want to help, they have ways for us to make donations to the people of Haiti. So here's the other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is reports indicate that independent presidential candidate Robert Kennedy Jr. is making his choices. He's winnowing down his list of those that he's considering to be his running mate.
Oh, good.
Perhaps a former sports guy.
Former and still.
I thought it was done. Okay.
So it's not Daffy Duck, because I thought it was Daffy Duck. Like I had it on good authority that it is going to be Daffy Duck.
Well, I think that's what they call him. So, Steve, what do you think about former Green Bay and current New York Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers as a running mate, a vice presidential running mate for Robert Kennedy Jr., or former wrestler and Minnesota Governor Jesse the Body Ventura?
Do they get hit in the head at some point?
Yeah, well,
they did.
They said Aaron Rodgers has secretly been tweeting about the Sandy Hook thing that happened. The Sandy Hook conspiracies.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's also
No, has he really? No.
Yes.
That's a report. I haven't seen him, but and I'm not sure how he's tweeting. Yeah. But he is also one of those anti-vaxxers. And so that is something that really appeals to Robert Kennedy. He is an anti-vaxxer as well. And, Jesse Ventura probably had one of the least conventional gubernatorial sessions in the history of the world. And so I think that appeals to to Robert Kennedy Jr., who is 70. So he's looking at making a list and checking it twice. The nephew of President John Kennedy and the son of the former Attorney General and the man who once ran for president himself in 1968, his father, Robert Kennedy Sr. He left the Democratic Party last year in protest of the nominating process and launched a third-party bid. And he's been talking to people, including former politicians, athletes, motivational speakers, and several political activists as he seeks to find a partner for the campaign trail. And he has to have someone before he is approved for the ballots on several states. Other independent candidates, a timetable has been accelerated. The requirement of 26 states and the District of Columbia for the independent presidential candidates petitioning for ballot access to submit the name of their vice presidential choice. So he just can't say, I'm running. It's like, who you got with you?
Right. Personally, to me, it doesn't matter because whoever he chooses is just as nutty as he is. So.
Well, apparently, if these names are to be, and I think those are two that they kind of floated out, Myra, to see, get people's reactions to them. But yeah, it's just like, So this Boeing situation, and we are all flyers, just gets stranger and stranger. There's now an investigation into the recent murder of a whistleblower. They determined that he had committed suicide. The employee who spoke out about safety concerns with the company's aircraft production found dead in his car over the weekend in Charleston, South Carolina. John Barnett they say killed by what appeared to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound, according to the coroner's office. The man
What
was a
appeared to
quality.
be, what appeared to be. I just want to make sure
Yeah,
that we
yeah,
keep that.
yeah.
What appeared to be. Keep going. Keep going.
Mhm.
Because Steve, and that's, you're absolutely right, because he was there to testify as a whistleblower about some of the things that he has been talking about for years. He worked for Boeing over 30 years before he retired in 2017, and he was there for the legal interviews related to a case against Boeing. He gave a formal deposition last week and questioned by a number of lawyers. And he was telling them about things that he found when he was on the line. And a lot
Mhm.
of, he said that he would see things that didn't make sense, or things that would lead to accidents in the air, by the in the airplanes. And so when he didn't show up for further questioning on Saturday, they searched for him in his hotel. And he was one of several whistleblowers who raised questions over quality control and safety, especially at the South Carolina plant. And in the things that he found in 2019 article published by the BBC and the New York Times, he said he had concerns that safety was being compromised when workers were under pressure and rushing to get the planes, the 787 Dreamliner planes, ready for sending to the airlines. It is, and then you think about the door, the where was supposed to be a door, and they just kind of pasted over it a little bit, and as well as the planes that have lost wheels. Most recently, United Airlines in trouble for that, and losing altitude and having a dangerous situation for not only the pilot and the crew, but the passengers as well affected by this. All of these things are, but what's really crazy is that the 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 travel the Federal Travel Administration is not doing. There's like, okay, you tell us what you guys are doing to rectify these situations. No, 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 no. That's not the way that any of this works. You tell them what
Thank
you need to do. Not well, we're having meetings, and we're gonna get better breaks, and better we're gonna get gorilla glue over those door patches there. So
If you look at the John Oliver tonight, last week's
mhm,
Tonight on
right,
HBO,
yeah,
a couple of weeks ago, did an unbelievable
breakdown,
vivisection of
yeah,
Boeing,
yep,
and it was fact based. Just it doesn't it make look, as much as I love to fly, like I try to make sure that we are not on those planes, like
hmm
737 nines. Put my baby on a 767 all day long. Put her
you.
on the Airbuses, not a problem. But like these 730, so, this, and the dead witness is like some Hightown Michael Clayton Pelican Brief stuff. Like it's
right,
real. Like
yeah,
like uh, all of a sudden he's dead. And every other whistleblower is like, well, not me now. Nope, I'm going home.
Right.
right,
I'm going
yeah,
home.
yeah,
Not doing this. It's crazy.
and and he allegedly killed himself, but
Yeah.
it was crazy, absolutely
Mm.
crazy. Moving to entertainment, just when we thought Don Lemon got another one of those good jobs, it appears things are not going well in his relationship with Elon Musk of Twitter. I'm sorry, X.
I thought
Um,
he did a darn good job. Apparently, he did it so well.
so they did an interview, Don's first interview on his X streamed show, entertainment show, was described as testy with Elon Musk. And Don Lemon says that his deal with X has been canceled days before the show even debuted. His deal burst into flames after an interview with Elon Musk, and he called off Don Lemon's partnership with X, the social media platform formerly known as Twitter, the day after filming an hour and a half long interview with Don at the SpaceX's offices in Austin, Texas. The conversation was occasionally tense, according to Don. He asked probing questions about the upcoming presidential elections, Mr. Musk reported drug use and his various business ventures. He said he would release the interview on March 18th on YouTube and will continue to share his content on X. Why go back? I mean, who's to say why? But okay. He said, my questions were respectful, wide ranging, and covering everything. We had a good conversation. Clearly, he felt differently. Well, there's a bit of an understatement, but
every closed door ain't goodbye. Right. A la Shannon Sharp. So don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it, Don Lemon.
Yeah, I worked at BET for a prolonged period of time. Mm-hmm. I wait for a minute. Here's something that's true, Sybil and Myra. If I had an interview show and I interviewed Bob Johnson when he owned it, there's probably some questions I would not have asked.
Right.
Because I'd have gotten fired.
Right.
Right. And so, I mean, I think people think that X and BT and these are public utilities, and they're not. They are publicly traded, but privately held companies.
Yeah. You're right.
Right. And so, I guess you think it's freedom of the press, but that's fine. Or freedom of speech,
also
that's fine, but not when it.
Of the owner too.
Yeah, freedom to get your ass fired too.
Yeah. But I think Don feels he has over 20 million reasons to ask whatever he damn well pleases, and
24.5. Yeah.
Thank you. 24.5 million reasons to ask whatever he wants, but. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm looking forward.
Wait. What's 24.5? What does he have 24.5 million of? What's that?
Dollars from the CNN.
Settlement from CNN.
From where?
From CNN.
Oh, got it.
Agreed to pay him. Buy out his contract.
No. Yes, he can ask whatever he wants because he can afford to be fired. That's true.
Right.
He can afford to be fired. Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. He doesn't have to worry about that check clearing, so he can pay the rent.
Yes. That's right. That's right.
Like the rest of us. So let us close out. How far are you from the Springs, Steve?
A very long way. I thought we beat traffic. We did not beat traffic. We have maybe gone 3 to 4 miles since we got on this phone.
I was gonna say, dude, you in LA. What is beating traffic? What is beating traffic?
Well, I think we get out of town. I think we before it was 5 o'clock, boom, get out of town. No. But it's on me. Sorry.
You left after 8:01 a.m.
I think that's right.
No. And just real quick, Sybil, and you will probably talk about this tomorrow. I will encourage everybody, if you haven't heard the news in Georgia today, check it out.
Yeah, we wrote about that in the newsletter. Thank you for reminding me. It's going to be interesting. The judge in Judge McAfee has cleared 6 cases, 3 involving Donald Trump and 3 involving the others. But this does not say that anything about Fani Willis and her participation in the case that is still coming before his court, the disqualification case. But the fact that he is making some changes in this and doing this before he comes out with his decision regarding her disqualification bodes well for her future.
Oh, good. Okay. I didn't know how to read it. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how to read it. So whatever happened today in Georgia is good for Fani Willis.
Yeah.
All right. Go with that.
I don't know.
You don't feel positive?
No, I don't.
Okay. Are you willing to put a little money on it?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Oh.
But wait.
We betting up in here?
But I will bet a drink.
Oh, you know that. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And in a sunny clime. Yes. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this, seeing what happens. And he's supposed to give his decision any moment now. So
let's go back to, because betting Sybil a drink is probably more precious than any amount of money. Like if the bet is if I'm right, Sybil, you have to take 3 shots of tequila. Then in public, best bet ever.
Why does he
Sybil, if I win, you have to take 3 shots of tequila in public, back to back to back. Ooh.
And then 99.
That's a good bet right there. That's a good bet right there.
Myra, you don't want to do something like that, do you?
Right, she does.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Oh, look at the
You
time.
want to see that as much as I do. You want to see that as much as I do. And and have a dance floor in there as a double or nothing. Come on.
And I will be everybody's best friend.
Yes.
Let's close out with the jewel. A gentle approach is a sign of strength. So inhale gentleness, exhale aggression. I'm still exhaling. Thanks you guys. Safe travels. Enjoy the show, Steve, Myra. We will see you next week. And tell Madonna we say what's up.
Yep.
Be well indeed. Have a great
go
week.
Go unplug something. Just go pull it out right now.
Can't tell you how many times. Okay, everybody. Thanks. Aloha.